Thank you very much for joining us today. We are going to be covering our Master of Legal Studies program.
Hello and welcome, everyone. I will start out with my initial introduction. I'm Susan Steffen, the director of our Master of Legal Studies program at UC Law, and we're excited that you have joined us to learn a little bit more about the program. I will turn it over next to our assistant dean and one of our program faculty members, Nora Burke-Wagner. And Dean Burke-Wagner will introduce herself and turn it on to our student coordinators.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nora Burke-Wagner. I will have the pleasure of having you in your very first MLS class. I teach Intro to Law.
And my name is Cecilia Philpott. I am an enrollment services advisor with University of Cincinnati. So it's my role at the university to answer any questions you might have about the program and help you through the application process.
And my name is Christy Poth, and I am also an enrollment services advisor for UC Online, and I will be here to help you through the process.
Okay, so a few things for our agenda today. First, we're going to go over just some program highlights, kind of giving you some more information about what you can expect about the program. And then we're also going to go over the curriculum. So you'll know exactly what classes you're taking, the things that you can expect to study and to learn more in depth about while you're in the program. We'll talk about who's right for this program. So, what do our applicants look like? What kind of experience should you have when you're coming in? So we'll go over those things. We're also going to talk about the UC Online experience. So some of you might not have taken online classes before. This might be your first foray into a completely online program. So we'll talk about what it's like to be a UC Online student. We'll also go over the admissions requirements. So I'll talk about requirements for admission into the program, and I'll also talk about things that you'll need for the actual application itself. We'll also talk about the academic calendar, different start dates, and then we'll also go over the tuition and fees, and we'll do some frequently asked questions at the end.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cece, for the introduction. I am going to start just by talking a little bit more about the big picture program details. What is legal studies? Why do you want to get a master's in legal studies? Well, really, we have designed this program so that it is beneficial to really any working professional who wants to know more about the laws and regulations as they apply to their particular workplace, to their field, whatever your chosen career or industry is. The law, for better or for worse, is usually a part of this. And this degree really gives you the opportunity to learn more about the laws, the regulations, and give you some of the knowledge that will make your existing skills in your current career path even stronger. And doesn't necessarily prepare you for a whole new career, but really makes you so much better able to complete your current duties in your current career and do so with an understanding of the law and regulations. Our program is designed to be completed in 5 terms, so 18 months, a year and a half, if you take what we consider full term courses, which is 6 credits, 2 classes per semester for 5 semesters. So a total of 30 semester hours or 10 classes. And it is 100% online and asynchronous. And we love the flexibility so that you can sign on each week and get your work accomplished at whatever time of day is most convenient for you. We also have 3 different start times. You can start in the spring or the summer or the fall, again, whatever works best with your schedule. And we really do design this program with working professionals in mind. Our curriculum also was specifically designed to assist working professionals in understanding the aspects of the law that are most relevant to you. So it is not something that you're going to be in class with students necessarily from other programs, including our JD program. This is really more practically oriented and designed to help you understand and get a better sophisticated understanding of the legal system. So we'll look a little bit at the curriculum as it stands. Traditionally, you will start in no matter what term you begin, whatever semester it is, you'll start with the Introduction to Law class. kind of to orient you to the program. And then legal research and communication, business law, compliance, risk management, privacy, cybersecurity, contracts, employment, administrative law, and finally a capstone experience. And you will always start with introduction to law and then legal research and communication, but the other courses will be offered in various terms, so that each term you will take 2 of them until your final capstone experience, which allows you to take what you've learned and focus on a project, either a presentation or an article type paper, more like a thesis, that really helps you focus in on an area that you're particularly interested in and hopefully will be helpful for your career. It's a great way to synthesize a lot of the information that you've gotten throughout the rest of the curriculum into an area that most interests you and hopefully will be most helpful. And I'm going to turn it over briefly to Dean Burke Wagner, who teaches the Introduction to Law course, as she indicated, to tell you a little bit more about how the program starts with that course.
So with the program starting with the Intro to Law course, students start the MLS program with what I hope is a really good on-ramp. So we know that we have students coming in from a variety of different backgrounds. So we start the program with some level setting, an opportunity to build a solid foundation so that you're feeling like you're on firm ground as you take off onto the other MLS courses. So you'll get an introduction to government structure, a taste of some legal skills practice, and lots of things to terminology, vocabulary that are going to help you out in the rest of your MLS classes. So hopefully gets you off to a really good start, but it's a nice, friendly, gentle way to get started.
Absolutely. Thank you. And the reason that we do have this great on-ramp kind of orientation to the program and to the law is because we really do have a wonderfully diverse array of students who come from all different areas, all different career, all different fields. Healthcare professionals, we see quite a number of in our program. Certainly anyone in human resources. We've got real estate agents, small business owners, CEOs, COOs, government employees, higher educational professionals, really educational professionals from all areas. And we really think that this gives a wonderful, well-rounded perspective to the practical applications of some of these areas of law that you'll be looking at. And Dean Burke Wagner, if you want to talk a little bit more about what that looks like in class as a faculty member.
I think that's absolutely right. I have seen all of these industries and more represented in my class. And I think that's part of why we can have some really interesting virtual discussions. So when we post a question as a discussion board and students start chiming in, I encourage students to relate the material or the question back to their personal and professional lives, their day-to-day work. And by doing that, then it really brings the material to life, and students are able to see how either the skills or the information applies to their work setting, to their classmates' work setting, which really makes it all a whole lot more interesting, more fun, and hopefully a little easier to grasp.
So now we'll talk a little bit about the UC Online experience. Just because it's online doesn't mean you don't get personal support. Like Cecilia and I and our other enrollment services advisors are there to help you get through the beginning to the point where you're in your classes. After you work with us to the admissions process, there is a student success coordinator that you would work with from start to finish. Basically, they would be helping you, assisting with like your class selections, admissions, answer any questions that you need. And there's a lot of behind the scene things that we'll also work with. You know, our the student success coordinators and us will meet with the faculty to make sure that you are on the right guide, just so that you know that we are working for you behind the scenes and, you know, when you have like direct questions to us. but there's also a lot of online experience that you get as well as the in-person students. So you'll have access to all of UC's resources, like library resources, any kind of technical support, any online learning material help, writing center, any of those kinds of things. Like I said, the same things that our in-person students would have. But there's also a lot, as we've mentioned previously before, a lot of collaboration with your instructors, but also your peers. Like Susan and Wagner have mentioned, there's lots of people that you're going to be meeting professionally and personally that you're going to want to connect with, and you have the ability to connect with them and make those personal and professional relationships to kind of grow yourself and your education. But yeah, now we'll talk a little bit more about the admissions requirements.
So for the admissions requirements, they're pretty straightforward. We do require that you have a bachelor's degree in any field. So there's no specific background that you really need to have coming into this program. Like we've mentioned, students are really diverse. They have a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different undergrad degrees when they're coming into this program. So we do require your bachelor's degree. We're also looking for at least one letter of recommendation. You can do more if you'd like, but at least one professional or academic reference, someone who can speak to your preparedness for the program. And those are actually, you don't upload those into your application. You'll let the reference know that they'll receive emails from the university kind of coordinating that, and they'll upload those letters for you into your application. We do require a 2.75 undergrad GPA coming into the program. It's kind of the minimum that we're looking for. So that's what you can expect for admission into the program. That's kind of what we're looking for coming in. And then as far as the application itself, you'll also you'll include a statement of interest. So this is just a personal statement kind of going over your motivation for the program, how it can help you achieve your professional and personal goals. Like I mentioned before, the letter of recommendation that will be uploaded by your reference. And then we'll also want a copy of your resume. We're looking for at least 2 years of professional work experience here. If you're not sure about your work experience, if you're not sure if you meet that requirement, of course, please feel free to reach out to your advisor. We're happy to help you kind of make that determination and advise you if we can. And then we'll also need unofficial transcripts from anywhere you've attended before. So if you received college credit, it's kind of a general rule of thumb, you'll want to upload an unofficial copy of your transcripts. Doesn't have to be anything official, and you'll upload those into the application.
So there are 3 start dates each year. We do admit for fall, spring, and summer. So the application fee is temporarily waived. So definitely check that out, figure out what's the best time for you. And you can always, again, reach out to your academic advisor or enrollment services advisor to figure out what is the best date that will work best for your schedule.
So I'm going to go over the tuition and fees here, obviously a very important part of any program. So one thing that I do want to point out, if you'll look at the top here, you'll see that the Ohio resident program total and the non-resident total are pretty similar. So one thing that we're really happy to be able to do is offer our students who are out of state tuition at nearly the same cost as our students in state. You may have had experience before with out-of-state tuition. It can sometimes be quite a bit higher than in-state tuition, but we're happy to say that the program totals are nearly the same. I know that this is a lot of numbers, but for an Ohio resident, you're looking at $28,800 for the full program. And if you're a non-resident, it's $29,925. One thing that I do definitely want to stress is that you can file a FAFSA for graduate coursework, and we would encourage you to. It's never too early to file your FAFSA. That's the best way to kind of see what you're looking at in terms of tuition, how you can, pay for your credit hours. And again, if you have specific financial aid questions, always reach out to your advisors. We're happy to, kind of point you in the right direction. If you do have any military benefits that you're able to use, again, connect with us. We can point you in the right direction. We can help you determine if those can be used to pay your tuition. And then we also have tuition payment plans available. So you can use those by themselves. You can use them in conjunction with federal student aid. So it just kind of depends. Everyone's got different stuff going on. A lot of our students have tuition assistance from their employer, which you can also use. But again, always reach out to us if you have specific financial aid questions, or if you're not sure, we're happy to go over those with you.
And so we sometimes hear similar questions, and so we wanted to take a little time here to address some of the most common questions. But on an upcoming slide, you'll see contact information for all of us, and I do encourage you to reach out. We're always thrilled to hear from students and prospective students with any specific questions you might have. But we often have a question, well, what exactly is the format of the classes? What can I expect from an asynchronous online program? Will there still be a requirement to come to campus sometimes, or all log in on the same time on a Zoom or other kind of format? And as far as the classes, they're all on-site, online, asynchronous, with no residential requirement or no time to be anywhere at a particular time that's going to be required. So we have 2 classes, and they're actually back-to-back in a 7-week format. So you're not taking 2 classes at the same time, but rather one after another. And we really like the flexibility. It makes it a lot easier to keep track of the material if you're just looking at one class at a time. So it's completely asynchronous, no in-person or timed requirement at all. And it's in a 14-week semester, but you'll have 2 back-to-back 7-week courses. And you can log in anytime, 24/7, and do that work. So that's probably one of the biggest questions that we get, in addition to the others. I don't know if anyone else wants to speak of the accreditation. I will give the highlight that we are absolutely, we've got all the highest accreditations we can have. The gold standard, of course, is the regional accreditation of the Higher Learning Commission, the Ohio Department of Education, because that's where we sit. We are fully as accredited as we can be, and really is a wonderful program from that perspective, and very well respected as well. And as far as the time studying during the week, I don't know, maybe Dean Burke Wagner as
Sure.
our faculty member, we want to cover that one as well.
So, we talked about the fact that we have students who are from a variety of different professional backgrounds, but, it's also worth noting that we have students who are who have all different sorts of responsibilities day to day or in their week. So we may have parents of young children who are working while their children are napping, or we may have students who are working traditional 9-to-5 jobs, and they're going to do their schoolwork in the evening or the weekends. All of those and other approaches are fine, and they can all be very successful. It's important to think about, how much time might this require of me during the week, because we know you're all busy. And so we would say that on average, most students will spend about 9 to 15 hours per week on the course that's running at that time. So that's what we recommend. So I try to tell students to, make sure that they kind of create a calendar so that they can carve out some time every week that will work for them and their personal and professional schedules to devote to the course, and make sure that they're, taking care of the reading, taking care of any assignments, participating in discussions. And that seems to be a good recipe for success.
And that's another thing too, that I think is really important for the formatting for the classes, is that they are online and asynchronous, and it's nice to be able to focus your attention on one subject at a time. So I think it makes it a bit easier to study if you don't have to try and make sure I have to do this class now and then this one. So you can really focus in all of those hours weekly on one subject and focus your attention on mastering that one. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. We definitely want you to kind of take the next step, view our program page here. You'll be able to see more information about everything that we discussed, tuition, academic calendar, things like that, common things that students are curious about when they're coming into the program. And you can also get connected with me, with Christy, with our team. We're happy to go over those questions that you might have, help you through that application process. And that's how you can get connected with us there. And you can also start the application through the program page as well. Yeah, so here is all of our contact information. I definitely want to echo kind of the sentiment. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. We know that coming to grad school is a big decision. There's a lot of questions and anxieties that students can have coming into this program, and that's why we're here, is to help you through those. So we love hearing from you guys. You can view all of our personal contact information here. Like I said, you can always get in touch with me and my team through the program page. But yeah, we look forward to hearing from you guys, and thank you so much for watching.